I'm here with the Sony ZV-E10 camera, and this thing is made for vlogging, but unlike other vlogging cameras, this isn't a point and shoot camera because it has the E-mount system, so you can mount any lens on this. For example, I got the Rokinon lens, and it's very easy to mount this. Just slide that on because it has the same dots here to connect that. And then just turn and twist and you hear a click and then your lens is on. So it's a very versatile system here, and you can easily interchange these in just a few seconds, so you can have multiple lenses with you. Now I'm going to test this out compared with my Panasonic Lumix in a minute, which has a similar lens, so you can see the differences here. But first let's go over the features really quick. So it has a touch screen here, which is pretty cool, and you can flip this around. So you also have that at the back, or turn this around so you can see what you're filming. So that's pretty cool as well, and it makes it a pretty versatile tool here. Now it also has a standard screw eye here, so you can set this up on any camera equipment like a tripod. So that's now how I'll compare it to my Panasonic Lumix in a studio setting with studio lights here. Now changing the settings is pretty intuitive. You can just go into the menu. So I'm going to change the shoot mode first. And you have this easy scroll wheel here that you can use. So I'm going to set the aperture priority, so I can set the aperture manually, and then go into the menu again. Go into the file format and set it to 4K, so especially when you're outside. And I'm going to stream a little bit later to test these out, especially when you're shooting outside. You can set it to 4K. Of course you need a little bit of a larger memory card when you do that. So let's go into the menu again. You can connect your smartphone, so you can easily get your files from this device, but you can also use some Bluetooth functions like remote shutter and everything. Remote start stop for video, which is pretty cool. Then you set the focus mode to autofocus here. Then you set the ISO, it's on auto right now, but I'd like to set that really low to about 100 here. And then compensate a little in the exposure, so it's not that dark. And then I should be able to set the aperture here to 2.8, which is the lowest for this camera, so I can have a cool little depth here. So those are my settings for like this studio setup. As you can see, this one is a little darker, so let's change this just a bit. Just take it in like this. Okay, so now we should have the perfect settings for a little test here. Okay, so these are the colors, and this is me talking in the Panasonic Lumix. You can see I have a lot of focus on my face and the background not so much. It's also a little bit darker because there aren't any lights directly on the background. You can change the studio lights around just a bit, but I like this setting for like focus on, well, I do a lot of review videos like this one, and really focuses on me and the product like I'm testing. And this is me talking into the Sony Alpha ZV-E10. So there's a little difference here. I have a little bit more color. It seems you can also change these settings, of course, but I really like this setting right here. And I also have a little bit more focus also on the background, just a little bit more than with the Lumix lens, which is a 1.7 aperture and 25mm lens. So just a little bit different than the Rokinon that I used. That's tracking my face pretty well, and I really like the fact that you can exchange these lenses. Now, setting this up is pretty easy. You can easily stream this with your USB device. Just click on that in the settings menu. I don't really like the fact that you have to click on it beforehand, because just a little bit of a hassle. I really want this setup to be like as easy and seamless as possible. Just plug that in and immediately start streaming, but you have to click into the menu before you connect it. So that's a little bit of a hassle. But Aside from that, it's a really great quality and a really cool camera for vlogging in studio. Now you can also use this outside, of course, for vlogging. You can change the settings a little bit and even exchange the lens so you can get more of a wide shot. And that is really where the power of this thing comes in. So it's one of the few cameras that's made for vlogging, that's made for streaming with immediate USB output. The Panasonic Lumix I have has a separate USB card for transforming HDMI into a USB, and this Sony doesn't need that, although it also has an HDMI out, so you can also use this for viewing what you're recording on your TV, for example, or using that to record the HDMI directly using an input card. So this thing is really versatile, and I really recommend for any vlogger who wants to be able to exchange their lenses and have just an overall great vlogging camera.